Okay, hey, welcome to Unit 14, Day 1. So we are starting graphing radical functions with a table. So you should probably first understand what a radical is. Okay, I know I've used this in class before, radical. It's like a square root cubic root. Okay, so square root looks like that. Cubic root, we have not seen much of. There's like a little 3 right there. Cubic root or another root. Okay, what we are going to focus on is the square root function. Okay, and the square root function is, the radical is a square root. And it involves an x and a y. So like y equals the square root of x, okay? Okay, so that's the basic definition. We're going to say radical a lot, but really we're looking at the square root function. That's kind of where we're focusing all of our information. Okay, so right along, how to graph. It's going to be very similar to steps we have learned before. To graph. 1, make a table. 2, plot the points. 3, connect with a curve. 'All right, so to start off with, we're going to look at like our basic function. Okay, so this is called the basic square root. I'm going to refer to it a lot as the parent function, because this is really what all of the others stem from. Okay, so the parent function of a radical is y equals the square root of x. Okay, so that's your basic radical square root function. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do, make a table. X, y, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoop, okay. There we go. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we plug this into our calculator, square root of 0 is 0, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 2 is 1.414, square root of 3 is 1.732, and the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so our whole goal is to graph this. We can see that most of this takes place in the first quadrant, so that's where I'm going to kind of focus my graph. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're pretty sloppy. Here's 1, 2, 3. All right, so graphing these points, 0, 0 is right there. 1, 1. Okay, 2 is at 1.4, so that's part way up. 3 is at 1.7, and 4 is at 2. Okay, we're connecting with the curve. So it's going to look like that. Not a straight line. It should be curved, okay? And depending on how well your graph is made, That's what we're going to look at. So that's the basic parent function. That's what they all stem from. We're just going to look at a couple others. So y equals 2 times the square root of x. Okay, make your table. Okay, make your table. Plug those values into your calculator. That's all we are doing, okay? So the square root of 0 is 0 times 2 is 0. The square root of 1 is 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, continuing on, we'd get 2.828, 3.464, and 4. Okay, so coming over to our graph. One, two, three. Okay, so 0 is still at 0. 1 is at 2 this time, though. 2 is at 2.8, so that's almost a 3. 3 is at 3.4, and 4 is at 4. So you can see it's still a curve. It's just a little bit wider curve here, okay? So taking a look at that. Okay, the next one I'm going to write on, I'm going to give you a couple to try, and then we will talk about them in the morning. Y equals the square root of x plus 2. Now, you have to be careful because this is all under the radical, so you might have to recognize that there's parentheses around that. So you try that, and you try this one, square root of x, outside the parentheses, plus 2. Okay, so for both of them, x and y of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then try out a graph. Okay, bring any questions that you have to class tomorrow, and have a super day away from school.